Vampirium 1997 is an immersive sim boiled down to its core elements. My name's Mike, I directed this, and I'd love to show you how that works. We're here to master locations, figure out the perfect, or at least the interesting way to take our target, and to build up our own vampire powers. You might call it an Slim. This is Jean-Paul's manor, and this is where we'll be hunting tonight. On the left here you can see the map screen that shows you the location, areas you've been to are bright, areas that you've not been to yet are dark. In the centre of the screen we've got objects that are in the room we're currently in, and to the right we've got objectives, which obviously tells us what we're meant to be doing. You interact with objects in the world by clicking on them and bring up a verb submenu, there we go. And we're immediately interrupted by the butler. Every location in the game has a bunch of characters who are there to help and hinder you, and you'll do so on this dialogue screen. As you can see, characters are shown on the right there, and I know from a previous session that butler is holding a card that'll be very useful later at this location. I could strike him, but that's just going to make a scene, and his ally here is going to get suspicious. I can also tell from looking at the stats on the room that it's lit. Fortunately, there's a light switch, so I can change that and create the opportunity. Let's do that. He saw me do it, but if I now strike that switch, I can make sure that light never comes back on again. Every action in Vampirium 1997 takes a certain amount of time we can skip with this button at the bottom right, so let's do that to let the butler return. And now, in the shadows, we can use a stealth attack. Awesome, let's take his keycard, and that immediately goes into your inventory. The problem is, I'm now blood spattered, which means that I'll immediately raise suspicions of any character who sees me. I need to clean myself up, and there's a bathroom right here by the cloakroom, so let's go there. You can see immediately suspicion raised, so I'm going to attack him. And now I have a problem, he's going to shoot me in 2 seconds from now. I could dodge, but if I can do that with 1 second remaining, it'll sync with his attack and I can daze him, buying some time. So let's do that by progressing time by 1 second, then dodging, and now he's dazed. I could strike him again, but it'd be more useful to consume him. I'm a vampire after all. That'll give me some vigour, which will be useful later. I could store him in my dark room, but for variety, let's put him in this locker. Now I definitely need to clean up. So moving into the bathroom, and I'll use this sink. I'm lucky that I left a clear trail there as a character's followed behind me. He won't be able to see characters in lockers or in dark rooms. It's definitely time to start hunting Jean-Paul. One of the great things about this game is that as you play through a location multiple times, you're going to find different paths. One of those paths that I found previously involved a suspicious man downstairs in the basement, so I'm going to make my way over there. You can see I'm using multiple doors to get there. I'm seeing the patrol routes of characters, an axe, which no doubt will be useful in another play session, and I'm just going to go down these stairs here. Environments in the locations can be multi-story, they can change over time, there's lots of cool stuff happening there. Talking to this delivery guy, we find out that he's in a lot of trouble. He's let one of the meals escape, and Jean-Paul's going to be pretty angry about that. Like any good mortal, though, he's open to a deal. And if we bring him a special decorative plate from upstairs, he's going to give us the key to the feed room, which is going to present a really useful opportunity to get Jean-Paul alone. I'm going to leave this incredibly restricted area, might come back later. I remember from a previous session that the decorative plate was probably upstairs in the gallery space. So I'm going to move back through to the main stair hall, and that's going to let me get up there. Now Jean-Paul's pretty arrogant about his stuff, so his gallery's right here with very little in the way of guards. I should be able to just pick this up in a moment where there's no one else in the room, and move on. There's one room which is very secure. This room here. I'm going to wait for characters to move on so I can use this key card. You see also that the sun's risen and Jean-Paul is now moving downstairs. That's good for me. Just wait for characters to move on, waiting for this opportunity to use the key card. Okay, and then I can use that to unlock the locked door. Inside, I'm definitely picking up the silver katana. That would be useful if I want to take out Jean-Paul quickly. And I'm going to drop that key card. Now there's a locked safe here, which has the silver coin I need, which is locked by a keypad. I'm going to blur out the screen. We don't want spoilers here. Excellent. I'll quickly grab the silver coin, completing that objective. One step closer. I'll also grab the will. That'll get me a little bit of extra XP. Superb. Okay, back down I go. You'll notice I'm playing pretty stealthy here, kind of staying out of everyone's way. That's one way to play. You can also absolutely massacre everyone in sight using your vampire powers. I may show that in the next video. For now, I'm back in the basement. You can see it's very restricted, lots of yellow areas here. And Jean-Paul's in the room north of me there, the diamond. You can see with these yellow restricted rooms that I immediately catch the attention of characters I move through, but as long as I keep moving, I should be fine. The same's not true of red restricted areas. Let's carry on through and meet with my delivery guy. This is one of the simpler quests, and it's in the first level of the game, so we're keeping it relatively light. But as you go through, you're going to be able to do much more complex jobs for people, forever more impressive rewards. And we've got our feed key there. That means we can now lay the perfect trap. We can see Jean-Paul there chatting to his guards in the room we just left. Let's unlock this feed room. It's a pretty unpleasant room, but with good drainage. And I remember that there's an XP item in that drain, so I need to clear some space in my inventory. Let's drop this key, I don't need it anymore. And let's grab the item there. Some dog tags. That's unpleasant. Now, as you might expect, targets in this game go about their business, their own chores, they move between spaces. Jean-Paul's retiring for the morning as the sun rises, but I'm going to interrupt that. I'm going to ring the bell here. He'll assume it's supper time, and you can see the notification there saying that that's exactly what he's expecting. I've hidden in the locker, and I have my silver sword, which I know will do extra damage. I can also do a stealth attack from inside an object. Our host is here. Got my silver katana. I could do that. If I use just a regular stealth attack, we'll see that it doesn't do enough damage, only 100, he's 400. But with a sword from cover, a stealth hit, all of those damage multipliers stack up for 540 damage. That's going to do the job. And my work's complete. In reality, I could make 5 different videos showing 5 different pathways through this location, and I'm excited for players to find all those different routes. For now, I'm going to exit. There is one problem though. I'm very much a vampire. So, as I go outside into the sunlight, I will take damage. You can see it stacking up there on the left, but as long as I'm only there fleetingly, I'll be alright. I'm going to make my way back the way I came, and you can see my exit is now available. And we're done. There's some XP for me there. Thank you so much for watching. I'm really excited about where this game is already and where it's going to go. If you'd like to see updates, definitely wishlist and follow the Steam page. And yeah, I'll keep you informed. Thank you so much.